I farted a setting loose.
God, that's a nuclear fart.
I farted Windows 10 into an update. Are we ready? Huh?
You sound like a Minecraft villager when you do that.
Yeah. Oh, trust me. I know me some Minecraft. I, too, have children.
I know Atari Pong.
That was the name of your first girlfriend, Atari Pong.
She was a mail order.
Got it from Pyongyang, see? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Rock and Roll the Podcast, featuring Dr. Nick Redbone, Tom Nelson, and me,
Brock Johnson.
Rock and Roll the Podcast is brought to you by
Power Plants, car audio and accessories on Kimberly Road, Twin Falls, powerplantweb.com.
Little Harmony.
Yeah, you guys rocked it. You brought it.
Better than
we're
that
done.
clap abomination thing.
Already? You're 30 seconds
I
in.
wasted no time in getting to the fact that clap is stupid.
God, you are the worst dick ever.
I know.
Hey, no, you know what? I don't think you're the worst dick ever.
Thank you.
I've worked for the worst dick ever. Isn't that right, Tommy?
That's right.
Hey, this is Rock and Roll the Podcast, episode number 32.
32.
Or in Spanish, I don't know it in
It's
Spanish.
32.
It's L32.
So, the 32.
Tom is really quiet again. Why is Tom really quiet again?
I don't know,
Is
man.
his
I just
microphone
hang in the
off again?
background.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe he was just...
Was I just...
Someday we will not troubleshoot the sound
While
we're-
on
while
the
we're-
show.
Can I give just a
adds
couple of
to the
suggestions?
experience.
I mean,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Not that I know any more than anybody else, but Tommy's always touching his microphone. Don't touch it.
Is that what we're calling it now?
Even
Hands on the table.
Even your mom said that'll make you go blind.
Touching the microphone?
Overly touching your microphone.
Stop touching your microphone.
Exactly.
You guys here?
Okay, look, dude. Exactly. Stevie Wonder's blind. He doesn't touch his microphone as much as you do.
Tom just Helen Kellered.
That's not Helen. No, that was Stevie Wonder.
Stevie
The
Wonder
head
was
thing.
blind, but Helen... Shut up.
Do you not know the difference between Helen Keller and Stevie Wonder? But Stevie Wonder was blind. Helen Keller was blind. You don't have an excuse.
Had no idea.
We are so
I'll
sorry
be goddamn.
if you're vision impaired.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that they're different people? I always thought Helen Keller was a nickname for Stevie Wonder. Songs in the Key of Life by Helen Keller. Okay.
Slash Stevie Wonder.
Look at how see how it just back away. That could have gotten horribly.
What we need is we need a reset button here on the table. Just a big red button so that we can reset when things go to hell.
Rock and Roll the podcast is brought to you by Power Plant. Power Plant. Power Plant. Power Plant. Power Plant. Why won't you participate? I thought we covered this. You're in now.
I'm not in.
Okay, then you love dogs.
Okay.
You,
Say whatever the hell you want. I'm not singing your damn jingle.
It's the best jingle. You're just pissed that you didn't come up with it.
By the way, you want a dog?
No.
Okay.
I have dogs.
Want another one?
Nope.
All right.
So Rock and Roll the podcast this week is being brought to you by Power Plant, as we covered. It's about album covers. Once upon a time, album covers meant so much more than they do now.
I don't know that they really mean anything anymore because everybody's getting their stuff
Not
from
like
the
they
tubes.
used to, man.
Yeah, not like they used to.
Spoken like a true old man. Not like they used to.
Okay, while you were doing old man, Brock almost threw up right on the microphone.
It escaped.
Whoa.
The milk of magnesia is now coming out the other end. Day 3, my friends, of the worst week of my life.
Oh, man.
I didn't want to talk about that, and now we're gonna.
No, it's all right. We can move right along.
Oh. Tom's doing poop.
I'm doing sound effects over here.
I don't even know how. I don't think we've ever crashed one this fast.
Oh, and yeah. It was like, you know what?
It's on fire.
It was kind of like they let Stevie Wonder fly the airplane.
Helen Keller.
Right.
She was,
Helen
the,
Keller.
she was the stewardess.
Helen Keller, also
I'm
known
sorry.
as
Flight
Stevie
attendant.
Wonder.
Flight attendant, not stewardess. Ah, my bad.
So-
One of my favorite questions to ask bands today is that even going back 10 or 15 years, there's so much emotion that has to go into putting together an album.
For sure.
Because it's a product. It's one piece, and there's so many different elements that go into it. So you have the album artwork, and you have the songs and the order that they're going to go in, and then you have all of the notes inside.
Yeah,
all of the thank yous and stuff like that. It's one product, but anymore, people are snagging their music from Spotify or YouTube or whatever else, and so the album, I almost feel like, is kind of a dying art.
Well, and I wish I could disagree, but I don't. I think there will always be artists that want to do albums. I know that personally, I'll always want to do an album, but I'm not under the same pressures that today's artists are. They've got to get noticed. They've got no time to get noticed. They've got no time to get on the road. They don't have time to put in the work that it takes to put in an album, and nobody, like you said, nobody's buying them anyway.
Yeah.
Well, they're starting to come back a little bit, but just, it's really off the radar.
It really is.
It's really more of a novelty thing.
Yeah, like when you go buy it now, it's called vinyl.
Yes.
They were just called albums back in the day. Now it's vinyl. And apparently calling it vinyl instead of records or albums means that you can charge 10 times the price.
Exactly. I was just going to say, that's a 100% markup because it's not a record. It's vinyl.
I saw Green Day's, I can't remember if it was 21st Century Breakdown or if it was the re-release of Insomniac at Hot Topic. It was like $50.
For a vinyl record?
For a vinyl record.
Wow. Okay, that's insane.
It's ridiculous, but that's the. I mean, if you go to the Record Exchange up in Boise, same thing. Now, the beauty there is that they also sell previously owned records,
exactly.
/vinyl, so you can save a little bit.
As we were kind of prepping for this one, I thought about my experience buying music before the digital revolution. And, there was in a mall that no longer exists, there's a Fred Meyer sitting where it used to be. There was my first record store. It was Music Land in the Blue Lakes Mall. And
Music Land.
Yeah, man.
Music Land.
I can remember going in when, my mom wanted to go shopping. Mom was at the Woolworths. And
she was.
Wow.
That was a corporation.
Yeah. And she'd send me and my brother off, to go and wander the mall.
Did they have the lunch counter in the Woolworths? Or Kmart thing? I think they had one in there, didn't they?
I don't know whether they did or not. Maybe.
It just smelled like lunch in there.
Yeah. Woolworths. It always kind of smells like lunch. So anyway, we'd go into the music store, and because Mom didn't give us any change for the video arcade, which was the gold mine around the corner. So we'd go into the record store, and you could go through the little bins of 45s. That was one thing. But then there was the different section where it was LPs and later CDs, but albums stacked up alphabetically. So you're going through the bins. Back then, the album art wasn't just a throwaway, it was a vital piece to the overall marketing picture of the record, because that artwork would also end up on billboards and
posters and t-shirts
and on TV commercials and the ads in the back of Boys Life.
Or
I remember Boys Life. I got Boys Life.
Tom,
Did you get Boys Life?
I did, yeah.
Tom, do you still get Boys Life?
Didn't you?
I still have a subscription.
Did you ask him if he founded Boys Life? Tom Nelson,
I missed that part.
first editor and publisher of Boys Life, circa 1907.
It was a joint venture with you and Rutherford B. Hayes.
Remember, this show also brought to you by the magic and majesty that is Rutherford B. Hayes, our 19th president.
Oh, did you look it up? Is he the 19th?
He is the 19th
He
president.
was after Lincoln. I remember
He was.
that.
He did a single term of 4 years, but I don't think you can blame that on him. Maybe you could blame it on his chief of staff, Smokey, the horse who liked to roadie for bands. So anyway, yeah, man. So looking at we know that album covers have changed in importance.
Yeah.
But what album covers are ones that do you think, did you ever buy a record based on just the album art?
That's what I was going to say. You kind of were leading us in this direction. And yeah, I remember, okay, so this is in the mid-'70s, and somebody brought in Van Halen, the debut album.
Okay, first record, yep.
And we played it in the band room, and I was like, oh, man.
Yeah.
These guys are great. And I thought, I never would have just picked this out. They weren't playing Van Halen on Top 40 AM radio.
Sure,
then.
right.
So next time I went to the variety store, Ben Franklin was the name of the variety
Ben Franklin
store.
Variety Store.
Yeah, it was like a craft.
It was a chain.
Craft. So it was kind of
like a five and dime.
Okay, what town was it?
It was in New Hampton. And
Ben Franklin's Variety Store, New Hampton, Iowa.
That was a big chain back in the
It was.
Midwest. There
And
was,
around
there was
the
a Ben
corner-
Franklin in every town.
Around the corner was the Rutherford B. Hayes knitting store.
Call Ben Franklin today. Just dial 6.
And you could watch him in action every Saturday.
But not during a thunderstorm.
What? Oh, a Ben Franklin thunderstorm joke.
Look at
Wow,
that.
you
That's
are a
going back.
dad.
I was there.
Yeah.
It was a very striking experience.
Oh, no.
Oh, the dad jokes are just coming out.
Oh,
Sorry about
that would
Yeah.
make me sad.
I had to think about that
I
for
know,
a second.
right? Yeah.
A round of applause.
That's how
Round
deep
of
it
applause.
was. Yeah.
One of my organs just collapsed.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what?
But I mean, just to finish up, the album that I went in there. So I went in there. And I thought, I'm going to grab an album based on just what the album cover looked like.
Okay.
And I thought, why not? This is this kind of led me to open up your mind a little bit. Just go for it. And so I'm going through. What's this? Toto.
Oh, wow.
With
Yeah.
the sword, because it had which ended up being their logo on the cover, and just that, I think it's purple, blue. It's just
Okay.
like, "Ugh, this is cool.
Yeah.
And there was Tim Allen. And
It's
he knew
not.
Rutherford
It's
B.
not a
Hayes,
complete
too.
podcast without
Tim
Allen.
Allen.
Yeah.
But I grabbed that, and of course, I take it home and I go, oh man, I did good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that album is solid.
Absolutely. That band's always been solid,
Yeah,
too. What
yeah.
about you, Brock? Did you ever buy one just based on album art?
I shopped a lot through BMG Music Service in Columbia House that way.
Okay.
Because in the CD Club days, and I would scam the hell out of them, but I think everybody was scamming the hell
Right.
out of them. So what would happen is that I would have, like a list of 6 CDs that I wanted to buy, but I didn't want to pay full price. And so BMG in particular, I think Columbia House eventually caught on, but BMG would send you a card every month that says, sign up a friend,
Right.
get 4 free CDs, and your friend gets 7
Yeah.
free. So I would sign up my cat. I would sign up people that didn't actually exist. I would sign up my nickname. And whenever I did that, I would end up having to pick 11 CDs because you get the 7
Okay, sure.
free with the first membership, and then you get the 4 free because you
Right.
referred a friend.
That's why the Rutherford B. Hayes estate has an outstanding bill for 1 CD at purchase price.
$732.12. But yeah, so a lot of times I would just page through the rock and the alternative pages, and if it was something that maybe I had caught once on MTV or something like
Yeah.
that. And a couple of times I struck out badly. Delamitri, you remember that one single
Yeah,
from
he had one
Delamitri?
single. You bought the whole record.
I bought the whole record because the cover art looked cool, and I knew of that single. I bought that. That was a pile of garbage.
Okay.
Dog's Eye View.
Ooh, that's another single band.
Everything Falls. And it was a cool like black and white cover, and I can't remember exactly what was on it, but the photography and the artistry and stuff like that was very cool.
Okay.
One that I also purchased based on picture alone was Astro Creep 2000, which
Okay.
was a great pick.
Yeah, that's White Zombie, yeah?
Yeah.
Mine is, and I think I got this one based on the album cover. I'm almost sure because it's still one of my favorites, and it always stuck out to me. Iron Maiden had great covers, great album covers. And in my personal life, I'm sort of a geek about ancient Egyptian history and mythology and whatnot. So the cover of Power Slave to this day is still one of the greatest album covers ever. Because it's on such this grand scale, and there's so many little details that they put in there. And of course, Eddie is their mascot, and he was central to all of it. I just thought an album, you kind of stepped into a world that they made for you. In the 45 minutes or 50 minutes that you have, musically on that album, you're experiencing everything they want you to experience in the line that they want you to experience it in.
Right.
And so, you kind of did get to step into that world, and like, for me, almost the albums almost sound like the covers.
Yeah.
Like Led Zeppelin 3 sounds kind of white and colorful to me.
Yeah.
Whereas Zeppelin 2, the Brown Bomber, Zepp 2 sounds like that brown ochre color that they had. It's just, because that's the way it was so important to associate them that way. And unfortunately, artwork started to shrink.
Yeah.
Well, now it's pretty basic. For the most part, it's pretty basic.
Yeah. Well, and the album covers too, piece of marketing. They want
For
you to go
sure.
in there and go, oh, what's this?
Yeah,
that's cool.
But to your point, I think it is part of the whole experience.
Absolutely.
Just part of the expression of the vinyl, the sound in visual form.
Yeah, for sure. I think, and without tooting my own horn, I think I'm probably the only person at this table who's ever been in on designing an album cover. Like, when I was in Foolsbane putting out records, that was a big thing. Like, we would start to, it would 5 of us all having a vote and throwing in what we think should be in and what should be pulled out and whatnot. And I can remember, especially on our second album, The King and the Thief, it was super duper important to us to get some of the clues and whatnot to the songs into the cover. And I can still look at not only the cover, but the art on the disc itself and say, oh yeah, well, this was that was this was a tribute to this was, it was really cool. On the level we were doing things, it didn't matter, but it was still fun. And it was that world building aspect to making an album.
Right.
Oh, well, I think it's cool too when the artist is involved in actually drawing or coloring or painting or whatever the artwork itself.
Oh, agreed.
And one of I had picked out a couple of albums that I thought have always been cool albums that stuck out in my mind. And the Starset albums, and I think they have
Love Starset.
Every album is a concept album because they're weird, like scientists. And, I mean, they've got this whole story and this utopian universe storyline that goes along with their songs. But Dustin Bates, the frontman, is also an animator, and he puts out his own.
See, I didn't know
books.
that.
He's actually working with Marvel Studios right now on something, but I couldn't find anywhere if it was actually him that put together the Starset artwork, or not. But you see that a lot. Even something as simple as like in most of Green Day's records, Billy Joe handwrites the lyrics.
Okay.
So it's not typed up.
Right.
It's hand. I just think it's cool.
I do too.
When they play that kind of a part in their artwork.
Now, if once again, I think Tom and I have an advantage just because of our age. We came up in...
That's not an advantage.
True that.
70s and 80s, we had better album covers.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Now, Tom, you being a Stones fan, I think... I mean, look, we're going to get to this part of the conversation anyway, greatest covers of all time. The Stones have to at least be in the running with Sticky Fingers.
Yeah.
Doesn't Sticky Fingers the one with the jeans on the front and a working zipper on the front of the cover?
It does. That was
cool.
an Andy Warhol thing, and they did that. Of course, it was really expensive to produce, so they eventually stopped doing it. Also, it damaged the vinyl, but it was actually a working zipper at one point.
Yeah. How cool. Well, I mean, it's a marketing gimmick, but what a fantastic piece of the art and that Stones attitude, a zipper on the cover.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just,
I don't know what that means.
Oh no, I'm afraid Mick Jagger's pecker might be in there.
I mean, the Stones were suggestive. Then Tool took it to the next level with, was it Edema, where there's actually a holographic photo of a dude blowing himself on the back.
That's fantastic.
I missed that one.
Yeah.
Who was that again?
Okay, now
Tool.
we can't
Tool?
we can't mention the sponsor for at least a minute.
Because I said dude blowing himself?
For at least a minute starting now.
Away.
Starting in a minute, we can talk about our sponsor, but not there right now.
We just need to clean up our act.
That's
Yeah, I was
oh look, that's
We
fantastic.
just need to clean up our act,
Oh.
says Dad Jokerson.
Dad Joker.
Dad Jokerson.
like
That's
that.
fantastic.
Hey, and now my Diet Mountain Dew is going to taste like pine trees.
Oh, is it delicious as you thought it would be?
Oh, yeah. Real
Piney.
good. Very piney.
No, none got in there.
So,
really?
okay.
I'm pining for that drink.
Oh, both of you?
And Dad Jokerson Jr. right here.
Hey, everybody.
God.
Dad Jokerson Jr.
It stops right here on this line. I will not make any dad jokes. Not a one. That's awful. But you don't. But you don't like the jingle. You like dad jokes, but you won't do the jingle for
Say, I like
Power
dad
Plant,
jokes.
Power Plant, Power Plant, Power Plant.
I can't take this horse shit anymore.
Well, you're gonna.
He's going to have to, we're going to have to come up with an actual jingle for Blaine.
Oh, are we?
I'm going to have to come up with an actual jingle for Blaine.
Okay.
I'm going to pay somebody to do it
right.
or work on doing it myself at a studio, but what you've done is an abomination.
Nah, it's awesome.
You almost went Richard Dreyfuss on us there. Don't think I can take this abuse much more.
The Jaws reference for those of you that don't know.
So what is, let's hit this. What is, in your opinion, it doesn't have to be, everybody's opinion, but in your opinion, the best album cover ever?
Oh, man.
I think I know mine. And
Really?
I would bet I don't even get a lot of argument from either of you guys. Honestly, I bet I could pick the one and you guys go, oh yeah. Can I take a shot at it?
Yeah.
Go for it, because I'm sitting here like, what? I don't know.
Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dark Side of the Moon, man.
And that's not a surprise.
No, that album itself is already such a, it's a masterpiece, one of the greatest masterpieces of rock vinyl ever.
Yeah.
And that cover says so much by saying so little.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the dude that came up with that, Storm Thorgerson,
Yeah.
his name,
Yeah.
which
Sounds like a made-up name.
it does, or a Viking.
Yeah. Yeah.
He should have Thor's hammer, but he's British. But he also came up with "Wish You Were Here."
That's right.
Which has got the guy on fire,
which is also on, the handshake, and one of the guys is on fire. Yeah.
And he also was a co-graphic designer for Houses of the Holy by Led Zeppelin.
No kid. Oh, yeah, because his company was called Hypnosis, and they were based out of London, and that's right. That's right.
Dude was solid.
He absolutely brilliant graphic artist. Yeah. I just think that one kind of, has anything ever been more timeless, more simple, more there are great album covers
and
for sure.
you see that on a t-shirt, and the album cover had a lot of impact when you see a shirt that has the album cover without the name of the band.
Exactly.
And I can see the shirt and hear the music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I hear the open of time, or I hear,
Yeah.
it's just, it's unreal.
Yep.
I'm glad that we got to this point, because I've got some things I'd like to talk about.
Yeah, let's go.
Here in the podcast.
Oh, geez.
Brock, first of all, my girlfriend is concerned about the conditions that we find ourselves working in, because we are office denizens, right? You guys, we live in an office environment.
Sure.
Okay. And she's worried that sometimes maybe when tempers flare, here as creative types do and as men do, she's afraid that if we decided to fight, like if there was a brawl, she doesn't want us to be throwing down like barbarians. So she came up with what she likes to call office fighting.
Okay. Does it involve firearms?
Well, first of all, before we get there, it can't involve you. She gave me strict instructions to never involve you because, in her words, you're the baby and you're adorable.
Oh,
look
that's
at you, man.
condescendingly delicious.
It really is. Do you want me to explain to you the moves in office fighting? This would only happen in the office. For instance, like me, let's say me and maybe a whistling sales guy.
Yeah.
What if we got into an altercation and it was going to come to blows? Instead of it coming to blows, she suggested pantsing him and then just pulling on his balls.
Okay.
Like a pinball machine. Pants down.
I like it.
Okay, do you have the visual in your head? I've killed Thomas. We've killed Tom. We've killed Tom. It's all over. It's all over.
How is that any better than a brawl, though?
Well, because it's more civilized in her mind.
There's nothing civilized about pulling
Well,
a
now
dude's
think about it. You're having this altercation, yada, 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 pants down, yank.
Only if there's cartoon sound effects to go along with it.
Okay.
What?
That sounds like my kind of Saturday night. That's what that sounds like.
So the sound
Forget
effects.
about office
Okay.
fighting.
So the sound effects for the pants would be whoop, whoop, right? Okay. Then the sound effects for the pull have to be right? Okay. And you remember the control. You remember the pull thing on a pinball machine, right?
Yeah.
Where you pop the ball back. That's what it is.
Popping the ball.
And you pull it back to the waist and then let go.
Yeah.
See, that's where the real barbarism comes from, because you got to tug. That's a pretty good tug to get that kind of distance.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the concept of office fighting, and you're not allowed to be involved because, once again, you're the baby and you're adorable.
It's real nice.
You dodged a bullet there, man.
You dodged a bullet. Yeah, don't be. I would take that compliment and run with it, because if this stands, if our boss for some reason adopts this, Tom and I might find ourselves in ball-pulling mayhem with the people we work with.
I'll film it and then never actually get it on YouTube, even though I've promised to do so.
Okay, don't ever film it though.
Oh no, it needs to be. There was somebody. God, who was it? They're not. They're not here at the station anymore. It may have been Janan, my co-host from.
Okay, from a few years ago.
God, was it? Somebody wanted to just film Days in the Office.
Okay.
And then release it as somewhat of an office.
Okay, like
and
The
I said,
Office,
you
sure.
can't do that.
Not here.
We'll all end up incarcerated.
Yeah, we'll be in
You cannot do that. I don't want people to know the levels of
awfulness,
debauchery.
Yeah, the awful.
People can't know what happens. People can't know that the garbage can behind my desk that I call the HR department is actually the HR department.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. Nobody. We don't want people involved involved in that.
No.
So what I'm saying is, I think, because now that I think about it, really, if that's the case, because there is chaos, we do live in chaos from time to time. I think maybe the threat of getting pantsed and your balls pulled, that might make maybe people keep some order. You know what I mean? Like maybe behave better if you think you might get into a ball-pulling duel with some guy you work with.
I don't think that's going to scare off many of our people. Have you met our people?
Well, okay, but that's it. Think about them, because once again, you're not involved.
Duel.
Think about it. Once again, you're not.
Sell tickets.
You could sell tickets. Now there's a fundraiser. But think about this. What about the other people we work with? I'm not worried about me so much, but I'm worried about like what if Robble up there loses his shit?
Oh, nobody
Besides,
wants
he's
to
having a
see
bad day, and he comes up. I have decided that I'm going to have to. I disagree with you. Whoop, wing, ping, and now I've had a Muppet yank on my sack.
Fortunately, I'll have it on film. Because I'm not allowed to participate because I'm adorable.
Oh,
That was
man.
good.
Isn't that good?
Yeah.
That's real tasty.
Yeah, you think that's great now. Wait until the next time you're face to face with your balls. Because you're going to think about this again. At some point today, chances are you're going to see what you're carrying, and you're going to think, oh boy, I wonder if those can get tugged in a fight.
He's down.
You know,
Tom just checked in.
I don't know, there's a line here.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to stop.
Did you think-
I was about to cross it? I don't want to.
Well, and my concern is that I might have already crossed it here, but I just think this is a good, and I'd like to know if any other offices would consider this.
Adopting your
Yeah,
horrible policy.
yeah. I mean, why wouldn't maybe some of the offices and maybe the city of Twin Falls?
We need some R&D going.
We
on
need some
here.
R&D going. I'd like to approach the city of Twin Falls, like City Hall, like their main administrative offices, and just say, hey, why not though? Why not? I'm just gonna check. Just wish, you know what? Don't shit on my dream.
This screams GoFundMe, doesn't it?
Power plant, power plant, power plant, power plant.
Oh God.
Did you just poop yourself? What just happened?
That was so good.
Are you okay? Did I
am
miss
now.
something?
What happened?
That was good. That was
Oh, you just enjoyed the jingle
I enjoyed
a whole
the
bunch.
double clap.
Yeah.
It
Have
reminded
you ever
me.
had the clap?
Oh God, not a double.
It reminded me of the time where my son, who was he was 4 or 5 at the time, and I've been there too, so I'm not faulting him for anything, and I hope to God he doesn't watch this podcast because he'll be offended.
Right.
He was laying in the living room playing Fortnite in his underwear, which is usually that's how we're both playing Fortnite.
Right,
My
sure.
poor wife.
Yeah.
And you hear him fart.
Right.
But it's one of those like bubbly farts.
Okay. It was
And so he's click, 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 click. And he immediately stands up and says, I need new underwear. And just takes off the stairs.
Bravo.
And he comes down. I said, what happened? He said, I had a wet fart. I said, wet fart is just a nice way of saying you shit your pants.
Wet fart's just another word for nothing left to lose. Me and Poopy McGee. I think that the show got weird.
Yeah, it did. It did.
I think it got uncomfortable.
I mean, that's all right, though. They usually do.
They usually do. This is episode 32, and remember, you'll be able to see this on YouTube in 2030.
That's right. Should we pull it back to the
album
subject?
covers? We can. What?
Green Day's Insomniac, my favorite of all time.
Oh, really?
Oh, I just let's strike that from the record. You go.
Go with Green Day. Let's hear that.
I have been going with Green Day for years.
For a long
For
time,
so
yes.
long. Okay.
Insomniac is just crazy. I mean, it's this collage artwork, and every single and every import and everything that came out around the Insomniac cycle was Winston Smith. And I didn't even know this until last night, but Winston Smith is the dude who did all of the Dead Kennedys art.
Oh, really? Okay.
And so
okay.
I don't
There's
know
some
how-
serious punk cred there
Oh,
for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah. And if you go to Winston Smith's website, it's all punk rock art.
Okay.
That's a thing, apparently.
Is that winstonsmith.com or winstonsmith.net? .org?
Oh.
That would be the Tuttle, Idaho Winston Smiths, isn't that right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I thought they were
This
from...
conversation happened before?
I don't know, maybe.
Are you having deja vu?
Yeah.
Are you having deja vu?
Yeah.
Ooh, smooth.
Tommy, you had something under the table you were going to pull for
out
us.
there too. I don't know if it's my favorite album cover, but it's one that it just stands out.
Okay.
Nirvana's Nevermind.
Oh gosh,
I
yeah.
was thinking about that last
Timeless.
night.
Right? Yeah,
Timeless.
With the baby in the pool
Yeah.
and,
Yep.
and the dollar.
Yep,
bill on the,
absolutely.
I mean, everyone knows what that is. But still,
But it's
I
totally
think
a
Pink
cultural
Floyd's,
touchdown, too.
Yeah, Dark Side of the Moon. That was good.
Awful hard to top.
Do you have
Well,
Nevermind on vinyl?
I don't have Nevermind, but I have something almost as good.
Let's see.
If you are interested in discovering a tasty piece of vinyl and the artwork on the album cover,
I can't wait
it's
now.
it's just a cherry on the old sundae.
Okay.
You need, and we're gonna. I'll put it. Just wait. This is those singing, swinging, stomping, sensational Stonemans
Oh man, on MGM
on
Records.
MGM Records. Hey, they put out the Wizard of Oz.
Okay, are you going to bring it right? You're going to. He's taking it
right
in.
up to the camera.
Okay. Okay.
That's how I do it. Oh,
Careful.
behind the microphone. Fat man behind the microphone.
Okay, now watch. It's going to be nothing but blur. Is he going to fix it? Look at this. So much blur. You got it?
It's there.
You got it on YouTube. You'll be able to see it in 2035.
Great.
That's fantastic.
Now that is an album.
That's an album cover
beautiful
right there.
album.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? We could have, there might have been different ways we could have done that. To get the graphic on.
But he's old.
But he's old. But you know what I'm thinking?
I don't want this guy to have to do any more work. He's already.
But what if we simulate that now there's conflict? We can have our first office fight.
Not with me, because I'm adorable.
Tom, I don't like what you did. Come here. I'm going to pull down your.
Let me cinch up my belt first.
Oh, that would be one of the strategies. You got to cinch up your belt.
Huh?
Everybody's wearing a belt. Don't think I can't get past your belt and into your nut meats. Okay.
What just did?
I don't know. I showed up with the
Your
mission of
nut
destroying.
meats?
Oh! It's time for the snack line. Tom's taking a call.
No, Mom. He said lunch meat. It's fine. Speaking of which, if you'll make me that Oscar Mayer bologna sandwich with Miracle Whip on it, I'll be right home.
Oh,
okay, thanks.
God. Okay. Thanks for calling, Mom.
I picked something up there. You're a Miracle Whip guy.
You know,
Oh, God.
I'm going to say it. I go both ways. With the creamy white
But if you only had one,
jarred stuff. If I only had one, you're going to go there? Okay. You know what? Since he's having a small stroke over here.
That's your.
I think if I had to pick one, I would probably go with the Miracle Whip because it's got that extra tang. It's got
son
the
of a
extra
bitch.
tang.
Okay. Okay. Well, you know what? You're exempt. Okay. Tommy's not exempt. I'm going to pull your balls.
I was going to say office fight.
Office fight.
this was I think the first conflict you and I had together.
It was.
the Mayo and Miracle
Absolutely
Whip
was.
conversation.
And you're still wrong. Now both of you are.
You're not.
And that was Rock and Roll, the podcast. I had a lot of fun. Did you have a lot of fun?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Tom?
I did, but it smells like a number 12.
Oh boy.
A little 12-y.
If you liked this podcast or if you hated this podcast, share it with a friend, share it with a loved one, share it with somebody, share it with an enemy. For God's sake, share it because we're trying to build this thing and we love it so much.
We're trying to build it in spite of what you've just witnessed.
And heard. Remember, you can hear it soon. You can see it someday.
Freeze frame?
Hey, why don't you teach yourself how to do video, you son of a bitch?
Until the next time, my name's Dr. Nick. That's Brock Johnson.
Hi.
That's Tommy Nelson. And hey, peace, love, and rock and roll.
Freeze frame. Go ahead. You got to do that.
Tip your waitress. We're out of here. All right.
Go yourself.